Self-help guru Mel Robbins has amassed the attention of millions of people across the world with her back-to-back basics.
Insert before final read. I guess a better... Okay, here's more. It's all about emotions. Okay, look at this. We were working on titles and...
You have blown up in so many ways. So let's get to it first. You're going to go on tour and you're coming to Toronto.
Well, Toronto is the #1 city on the planet for Mel Robbins podcast listeners. I kid you not. And so, yes, we are going to be there May 9th. And I'm so excited to be with everybody live because when you do a podcast, you don't see anybody. So I can't wait to be with everybody in Toronto.
No surprise, the show sold out. But is that the reason why you decided to go on tour? Because as you mentioned, having a podcast, you don't really see everybody. Is this one of the reasons why you want to go on tour?
You know, people have been asking me to go on tour for a long time. And before I got into the podcast business, one of the things that I did is I used to speak at corporate events. And so this is the first time I've ever done my own events. And so it's one of these things that I've always wanted to do. And when we announced the tour, I feel kind of dumb because I was kind of like, well, who's going to come? I mean, you know, I don't really see anybody. Is anybody going to come to this thing? And the show in Toronto sold out in like 20 seconds. And I thought, oh my gosh, I guess we all want to hang out. And I think that's an important thing. There are very few places where you can get together today with people who actually are in a room of collective consciousness, wanting to have a positive experience, wanting to be empowered, wanting to get more out of life. And so I'm just super excited to be with so many like-minded, positive people. We're going to have an amazing time.
And don't you think that's wild that you're saying that in a world where we're connected more than ever through, you know, FaceTime and the internet, and yet so many people are lonely and feeling it?
Well, one of the reasons why we're lonely is because everything about the way we used to live has changed, whether it's hybrid work or the fact that the average person spends 6 hours a day on their phone. And that's not some made up survey. That's actually from research taken from devices. And so I feel like we have gotten away from living life in a way that makes you feel like yourself, that connects you with the simple things that bring meaning to your life, and that really at the end of the day are important. Your relationships, having a sense of purpose, connection to community. And so I do think it's sad that in today's world of hyperconnectivity, a lot of us are really struggling to see our friends, to stay connected to things that are important. And so I'm really excited to get out on the road and to see everybody in real life instead of on the screen.
Amazing. It's called the Let Them Tour. And obviously it's off of your latest book, The Let Them Theory. 2 powerful words, let them. Where did that come from?
So, you know, the 2 words let them have been around since the history of time. When the power hit me for the first time, because, gee, I've been trying to let things go and be less of a control freak my whole life. I've been trying to not care about what other people think, but I could never get there. And so it hit me in a moment where I was being a micromanaging, controlling mom. My son was going to a big high school dance and I was shoving the flowers at him to give to his date and telling him he can't go out in the rain because he's going to ruin his shoes. And my daughter, who is older and was home from college, started yelling at me. She's like, "You're so annoying. Just let him go outside. Let him not take the flowers. Let him do what he wants." And she kept saying, let them, let him, let her, let them. And I don't know what it was, G, but when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And the teacher that hit me with a sledgehammer was my older daughter. And it was something about those words, let them, let him, that I just thought, why do I care about this? And from there, it just took over my life. Like I would be standing in line at a grocery store. And have you ever been at a grocery store and there's like 7 people in front of you and it's like, beep, 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 and the tornado comes up your body? Let them. Let that. You're not stuck in the line. You can leave. Why are you letting this stress you out? If you're in traffic and it's backing up, why let that ruin your day? If your mother-in-law is in a bad mood, let her be in a bad mood. Why is it your job to make her happy? If your son's struggling in school and not that much, let him not be motivated. And instead of trying to change him or control him, lean in and ask him, like, how do you feel about this? Instead of making it your job to force everything. And what I learned is that when you say these two words, let them, the problem isn't you. If you're overwhelmed, tired, stressed out, you're not the problem. The problem is how much power you give to other people's moods, to their happiness, to their expectations. And what I learned the hard way, it took me 54 years to figure this out, is when you let other people live their lives, G, your life gets better. When you stop spending your time and energy on stupid things or on things you can't control, you actually have more time and energy to take care of yourself.